I'm on the final leg of completing this, my walk-in wardrobe, and today I'm going to finish off my IKEA PAX wardrobe installation with something that the internet tends to call an IKEA hack, but I would prefer to call it an IKEA enhancement. So to make these IKEA PAX wardrobes look a little bit more built in, the first thing I'm going to do is actually put them on a plinth. So I'll make two plinths that will eventually be in an L shape out of 4x2 CLS. And if you're going to do it this way, you really do need to make sure that that plinth is absolutely level in each direction. You need at least one, if not two, spirit levels that you can actually trust. And a whole box of shims. Now, if you don't have shims, they're incredibly useful things to have kicking about in your workshop. Each one is a different colour and is a different thickness, and then you can use a combination to pack out whatever you want. Once I'm happy that everything is level and everything is supported, then I can use my little Parkside galvanised brackets that I bought the other day to secure this frame to the floor so there's absolutely no movement. What I didn't realise at this point was within half an hour all of this will be coming out, but I'll get on to the reason why I had to do that in a minute. So with the frames in place, then the wardrobes I can just about lift up onto the frames, and these are incredibly heavy, and now they're just not only heavy, they're bulky as well. The two smaller wardrobes I can actually get in and out of this room, so I bring these two back in to sit on their own plinth, ready to tie everything together. Once I got the four wardrobes back in, I stood back and had a look and realised that the 4x2 that I'd used for the frames was so high that the wardrobes are now 3.5 inches higher than they used to be. And if I'm not careful, the clothes rails at the top are going to be higher than my wife can actually reach. So after umming and ahhing for 10 minutes, thinking about whether I could get away with it, I decided that I needed to take it all out, cut it down, and then bring it all back in, which is what I did. With them finally in at the right level, I can connect them together, and I'm putting a 10mm spacer in between each one at the bottom, top and in the middle. This is two 5mm spacers added together, and using one of my famous through bolts just to connect everything together. During this whole build, I've been using my Urbau wheel-along tool chest thing with my improvised worktop, which has come in incredibly useful just to have something to work on, even in a little room like this, as well as storing your tools out the way. One thing I did notice is that PAX have changed some of their design for their drawers. The drawer bottoms are thicker than they used to be, and they sort of clip in now to stop them pulling away from the sides. However, I still decided to reinforce each of the big drawers with 9mm MDF at the bottom. And disappointingly, the cams that always used to be some sort of soft alloy are now plastic, which also meant that two snapped during the construction of these drawers, which I'm not impressed with. And it's just another example of companies trying to slim everything up to save a little bit of money, but sort of getting to the point where it just sort of doesn't work. Having said all of that, once the drawers are built, the hinges are easy to install, and they've got this sort of soft closing action, which is rather nice. So I'm just in the middle of fitting these wardrobes out, and I've got a couple of these clothes rails which are like powder coated metal, and they've got a code on them, which is fair enough, but the sticker that the code is printed on, I don't know if you can see that, it's one of these stickers that you can't get off. I mean, why does someone as big as IKEA still make stickers that you can't remove? After doing my best to take this sticker off, I resort to a Stanley knife, trying my best not to damage the powder coated finish. And with most of it off, I can get some alcohol on, which eventually cleaned it up, although I'll never get that 5 minutes of my life back. We now fast forward a few days where I've now got the engineered flooring in. I've just protected it with some cardboard. 1525. And you notice I've cut off some of the vertical sections at the bottom on the wardrobe because I want a plinth to go all the way across, and these vertical bits just stick out, so they had to come off. Here I'm just using some 12mm ply just because I've got a couple of lengths spare kicking about the workshop. I did buy some aluminium handles for this as well, and rather than measuring every one to get it centred, I decided to make a very simple jig, which even if it's not 100% in the middle and it's out by a couple of millimetres, if you reference it from the same side for each handle, then it'd be impossible to tell, and you know that definitely they'll at least all line up. So now it's time to make some trim to cover all of these edges and make everything look sort of uniform and homogeneous. And first of all, I was actually going to buy some MDF strips from the DIY shop until I realised they were charging about £8 each, and I think I've got 7 here. So rather than spending over 50 quid on a few strips, I bought a full sheet of 12mm MDF. I'm lucky enough to have a table saw so I could cut them down. It's a lot cheaper way of doing it. I've already cut them down to the right width that will fit these sort of gaps, and if you look closely here, I've rounded over the front edges with a router, and I've prepared all the fluffy edges, which you'll know all about if you saw last week's video. This is just decorator's caulk, but once you sand it down, it's really, really thin. That's why it's slightly white, but it makes a nice flat finish. So what I need to do now is I want these to be the same colour, obviously, as the rest of the carcass. Now, most people will end up painting all of it, so you end up with a uniform colour. Well, I don't really want to do that. This is the colour I want to end up with, and I don't really want to start painting many square metres of carcass. So the alternative is to get some paint on this that matches this. So I took a bit of my wardrobe down to my local Block and Quail, where they've got one of these paint mixing areas where they put this device on top of whatever you give them, which works out what colour it is, and they tell me it's 99.9% accurate. I've had mixed results with this sort of system, but essentially the computer works out how much pigment needs to be squirted into a pot of white paint, and then it goes into the shaker for 5 minutes to mix it all up, and before you know it, you've got your own bespoke pot of very expensive paint. I decide to use this as an undercoat as well because there's no way I'm going to get through this whole pot. So rather than putting a primer on, I'm just going to go with emulsion right from the start. And as long as I've got 2 or 3 coats on it, it'll be absolutely fine. I paint the same on my ply plinth, which just pops in at the bottom and ties the 2 wardrobes together. Then I can fix it with this little brad nailer. And the small holes left by the pin heads of the nailer, I just fill with a little bit of filler that I can sand down locally later and just put another coat of paint over the whole thing. Where I've screwed the wardrobe down to the plinth, I also fill and then paint over with the matching paint, which actually does a pretty good job of hiding the top of the screw once the paint is dry and goes a little bit darker and matches the rest. I also use MDF to box in the top right up to the ceiling, and once again fixed with these brad nails. With this in place, it also means I can start installing my lightweight coving. Now this is just essentially lightweight polystyrene covered in cardboard. It's not the professional plaster type. However, because it's lightweight, it's really easy to install, and in a room of this size really only just takes 10 or 15 minutes. With the top boarded in and the coving now installed, now all the grey trim can get fixed to the carcasses and just hide all those little gaps and really tie everything together. And with a bit of filler and paint, all the pinheads disappear, which means it's just about complete. So after a quick tidy up, clothes can go in, and I think it works really well. But obviously, being a walk-in wardrobe, there's no doors on any of these carcasses at all. You just don't need them, and it saves quite a lot of money as well. IKEA do know how to charge for their doors for sure. And although I've got a little bit of painting left on the coving and a little bit of filling here and there, essentially it's 99.9% complete. Which means I just have to make sure that that 0.1% actually gets completed rather than just leaving it like this. But anyway, that can be a little job for the weekend when I'm not working. I hope you've enjoyed this, and actually with the lights off, I think this is the best part of it. And if you can come in here in the evening or in the morning and it looks like this, then I am very, very happy with that. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.